Hi, my people. Good afternoon. How's your Friday coming along? I am so happy that you've joined me this afternoon. Thank you for finding time. I appreciate that. So, dating outside your culture, outside your race, outside your tribe, sometimes there's some gray area there, and that is a topic for today. It's been requested so much on the comment section. I've had DMs on my Instagram, on my Facebook about what would you say, or what's your take on dating outside your culture. I'm not here to tell you whether it's good or whether it's bad, because that's up to you, but maybe we can look at the pros and some of the cons. However, if you're dating, or if you're married, actually, if you are married to someone outside your culture, outside your tribe, outside your race, I'd like you to comment down below with these three things. Number one, what is it you like about your intercultural marriage? What is it you like about it? What's interesting? What's the beauty of getting married to someone who's of another culture? Number two, what is it you wish you knew before maybe you got into that marriage? And number three, what advice would you give to us out here, or to anyone thinking about dating interculturally or someone from another culture? What advice would you give? So those three things: the beauty of getting married to someone from another culture or race, what would you wish you knew before you got married, and advice, what would you advise us and what would you tell us? So I'll be waiting for you at the comment section. Please, let's help each other, let's learn, let's be there for one another. You know, we are one another's, we should be our sister's keeper, and that is why we have this channel. This channel is your big sister, is your go-to place when you need emotional support and when you need maybe guidance when it comes to some of these things. Hey, hizi vitu hatufunzwi shule, so we have to just learn them through life, you know, through experiences, through making mistakes, and so on. So welcome to Muthoni's Mission. Dating outside your race and outside your culture. I would like to give a few examples. I want to start with an example of someone we know, Wambui Otieno. She passed on a while back. May her soul rest in peace. Wambui Otieno was a Kikuyu lady who got married to a Luo man. I think it must be in the 60s or something. So they were in love, they fell in love, and they got married. They did, I think, a white wedding. Yeah, according to the common law. So Wambui, when she was getting married, she had 4 children of her own. When she got married, they got 5 children, and they also adopted another 6 children. Yes, so they brought up 15 children in their home. At some point, Otieno died, and that is how Wambui became famous. Because when Otieno died, his brothers wanted to bury him in his ancestral home in Lowland, but Wambui had said Otieno wanted to be buried in some land they had bought, and so there was a legal fight, there was a court case, and that is how Wambui became famous. It lasted 5 months before he was buried. Wambui was saying, "I'm the legal wife." He didn't want to be married in his ancestral home. He never even goes there. He only used to go there during funerals. You know, she had that argument. And the brother said, "He's one of us." He attends some of those Luo he attends Luo functions and some of those funerals, and he is aware of the Luo customs. He was aware of the Luo customs. He deserves to be buried back at his ancestral land, at his ancestral home. It took 5 months, a whole 5 months. This is a woman here who has 15 children she's taking care of, and her sons were actually juvenile, like they were young children, so they could not even protest some of Otieno's brothers, some of the claims the Otieno's brothers had raised. So eventually the brothers won, and Otieno was to be buried in his ancestral home. Wambui tried to contest by saying she's a legal wife, she was married legally. However, they never did the traditional wedding. She never went there for the Luo customs. I remember at some point Wambui was saying the reason they had taken it to court because they were expecting to inherit her. But the good thing is Otieno and Wambui had registered the assets jointly. Like, so Wambui inherited most of the assets. Of course, the brothers took part of the assets. So that was a battle between an intercultural marriage, because there are differences when it comes to our tribes, our cultures. We have different beliefs, different customs, different ways of doing things. That is one story. So outside Wambui's story, there's another story I had on radio a while back, like 2 years back, a very disturbing story. So a lady was giving a story of a young girl who had traveled from a country somewhere along the border, maybe Kenya, Uganda, I don't know which border, or Garissa, somewhere very far away land, and she had come to a county close to Nairobi County to look for house help work, which she got. So I think it was in Murang'a or somewhere. So she came and started her work as a house help. So one of the sons of her employer liked her, and they started a relationship. So the son started a relationship with this house help from that far away place. So the relationship went on, and at some point this lady got pregnant. So between the time of getting pregnant and having the baby, she had never gone back home to even say who she works for, what's the name of the place. Her parents didn't really know who she worked for. This story happened, the story I'm giving happened a while back, like early 90s, so there were no phones, there were no cell phones that time. So the whole time she was in Murang'a working. So wakapendana, she got pregnant, and during the time of delivery, she died while giving birth. So this family did not bother to go look for her people, did not bother to send a message, did not bother to know where she came from. They buried her in the cemetery in Murang'a. Can you believe that? So her parents and her people are still waiting for their daughter. They're still waiting for their girl. If she had a child back at home, the child is still waiting for their mother. But will the mother ever go back home? The parents are waiting for the daughter. Will the daughter ever go back home to where she came from? No, she's buried in a cemetery, So those are two examples that I really, really wanted to give. So dating outside your culture, outside your race. This is the lesson I learned from Wambui's story. The lesson I learned is do the customary process. Find out what their culture stands for. Find out, in case people die, in case nature takes place and you lose your husband, what would happen to you? What are you expected to do? What even happens during circumcision for the boys? Find out and do the traditional ceremony, the traditional custom, the traditional wedding. Do it. Go to where they come from. Juana na huyo mtu. Jua traditions zao. Wacha wakujue. Like for Wambui Otieno's case, I remember she was arguing in court, saying according to the common law, she's a wife. He had said why he wanted to be buried. She's a next of kin. But then the brothers were arguing, but there was no customary wedding. We don't know he is married, as you know. So to avoid that, I feel you need to do the due dowry process. Like, get to know this culture. For especially for us women, you meet someone in Nairobi, you get pregnant, you decide now I'm living with him, he's my husband. You never know where he comes from. After 2-3 years, another baby. You don't know what your wife number what. You don't know. Hey, my mom used to give me a story. It's not a story, it's a statement. You know how African mothers sometimes can say really extreme things in the name of trying to teach you a lesson? My mom used to say, hey, ukitaka kwenda kuolewa huko kwenye watu wanakula firstborn. Yes. She used to say there are communities somewhere where when you have the firstborn is eaten. It's not funny, but anyway. So, but it was a way of teaching us, know what you're getting yourself into. That is what Wambui's story teaches me. Do you can also do them and still find yourself in those legal battles and in those wealth fights and all that. But at least do them. Also, this other lady, what do we call her? No, let's not just call her. Let's call her Jane, actually. So in this case, Jane, who came to Murang'a and she died and she was buried just in a cemetery there. Know where your person comes from. Know where they come from. For the ladies, we come to Nairobi, you find a nice guy, you decide, you get pregnant maybe by mistake or by choice, you decide to start living with him. After 2 years, you get pregnant again. After 3 years, you hook with 3 children. You don't know where the nigger comes from. You don't know where this guy comes from. You don't know your wife number what. You don't know what they believe. You don't know if they would accept you. You don't know what rituals you'd have to do even to become his wife. Know where this person comes from. Let them know you exist. And if possible, do the traditional ceremonies, the dowry thingy, the traditional wedding. Know their customs. Ask questions. Know what you're getting yourself into. By all means, fall in love, and I advocate for that here. Fall in love. Love is beautiful. Love is amazing. We all want to feel loved, and we all want to love. Fall in love. But don't conform to these cliche statements of love is blind. Okay, love is blind, but you're not. Open your eyes. Also, I would not have a problem getting into an intercultural relationship or dating someone who is not of my culture, so long as it does not compromise my values, and so long as I don't lose myself in the name of staying in this relationship. So long as, for example, there are things I want faithfulness from my man, and maybe in that culture it's okay to be polygamous. Their great grandfather had 5 wives, their father had 3 wives, his elder brother has married another wife. Yohuku advocating for monogamous and wanting that those people who are against some of their cultures and some of the things people from their culture do, but he is brought up in that culture. So long as it doesn't give away what I believe in, so long as I don't lower my standards, I don't settle for less, so I can maintain an intercultural relationship, I don't see any problem with it. I don't see, because I believe in every relationship, let alone the one that you're dating someone from a different culture. In every relationship, you have to find a middle ground and a common ground. Like, you have to set your own rules for that relationship. I believe even for intercultural marriage or relationship, you have to come to a common ground. Because when you start, my people do this, you will never meet. You're just like parallel. So if you can find a middle ground, and don't throw your values away. Don't settle for less in the name of being in an intercultural relationship. I am a huge fan of premarital counseling. Go for therapy. Seek counseling before you get married. Talk to people. Find out. I love knowledge. I read a lot. I'm so much into research. I think that's why I even do these things like this. I love research. I love reading. I love finding out things. So do premarital counseling if you want to get married to this person. And also ask questions. Find out. Ask them in such a scenario. What would happen if you were to die today? What would happen? What would happen? Another thing that I feel is really important is to register your assets jointly, especially if you're married. That will protect you. Yes, that will really protect you. Register joint assets, because some of these tribes, or in some cultures, in some cultures, when the husband dies, the family is entitled to their wealth, and you can't blame them. That's what they know, that's what they do, and also we know cultures where you're supposed to be inherited by the brothers, the wife, and mostly they want to inherit you, especially if there's a lot of wealth. So protect yourself. Do the customary ceremony, do the traditional wedding, know the cultures, visit where they come from, your partner comes from, register some of these assets jointly, protect yourself, especially for the sake of the children. Protect yourself. Some of these murders that we hear, especially in central Kenya, from central Kenya, I know, they're usually because of land. Because someone died and they want to chase away the wife. Because someone died and people are trying to take away their land. Because people are hungry for money, you know what I mean, and for wealth, and they don't care about even some welfare of the kids he left. So long as their stomachs are fat, and so long as they acquire the wealth. Protect yourself. Intercultural marriages are very beautiful. Friends who are married outside, my best friend is married to someone outside her tribe. It's beautiful, it's amazing. The issue of culture never comes up. They fight about normal things couples fight about. I have a lot of friends actually who are married. I was actually talking to a colleague of mine when I was doing research about this episode, and I remember asking him what what was the hard part, what was the hard thing for him marrying someone outside his tribe. And I remember him telling me it was challenging when, you have inside jokes in your tribe, in your culture, and you have to explain that to the other person, and they will most probably, chances are they will not get the joke, and also there are some jokes you don't want to explain, so he was like, no, you really have to get this joke. So yes, love is beautiful, love is amazing, but while at it, let's open our eyes. Let's have a list of what we want. Let's know what we want. Let's know what we're bringing on the table, and let's be wise while at it. So for married folks, if you're married to someone outside your race, outside your tribe, outside your culture, write down below the advice you would give to someone who's considering maybe dating outside their culture, who is indeed dating someone outside their culture. Another thing, also tell us what you like about dating that person from another culture and what you wish you knew before the marriage. So I hope I have done due diligence this topic. It's not up to me to tell you whether you should get married to someone outside your culture or whether you should not. That is something you need to decide. You need to decide on your own. However, you might find there's some cultures that have extreme customs and extreme beliefs, but you find that this person is partisan, this is a modern person, this is someone who fears God and maybe does not conform to that. But you know how they say when you marry someone, you kind of also marry their family? Yeah? So it's a tough one, but love is beautiful, and you're in love. If you're in love, it doesn't matter if it's someone from another culture. If it's healthy, if there's love and respect, if you feel you're happy, and if you feel you're at a good place, I'm happy for you. Love is beautiful, love is amazing, and here we just give love in this channel, and we are happy when people fall in love. Also, you guys let me know if some of what we talk about here helps you live a toxic relationships, helps you find a guy, helps you raise your standards. Just let me know. Some of these things are really important, so I know what direction to take moving forward. My name is Muthoni Mukiri. Thank you for watching. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for your nice comments. Thank you so much for your support. Have a good afternoon. And be blessed.